But think about it. Don't just do it just so you can defend the Bible. I'm sorry, I'll slow it down. Everyone says that as well, to be honest. But I will slow it down. You want me to repeat myself?
Yeah, go for it.
That's no problem at all.
But I'm
so
ain't going to come up with your answer.
No, thing is, it's about sincerity. Honestly, it's not about argument, it's about debate. Yeah. It's about sincerity. Because every single person from their natural inclination knows that is... Okay, sorry. Everyone from their natural inclination knows that it would not be just to ascribe God to be a human. Because the question that I asked you is a baby weak by nature? You said yes. Is a baby weak by... in his essence, is he weak? Of course he is. Does a baby cry? Yes. But when it comes to God, let's put the same attributes to God now. So God by his nature is all-powerful, agreed? Most strong, yeah? All these attributes. So how does it make logical sense? Just think about this. A all-powerful God at the same time is weak as well because he's a baby. Because, for example, the baby need to eat food.
You're putting parameters of what God can and can't.
You are as well. You are as well. You know why? Because I asked you, can God cease to exist? You said, that doesn't make sense. Why are you asking this question? So you're using the same natural inclination that I'm using to affirm... Okay, let me ask you the question again. Can God cease to exist?
No, I've heard all those questions.
No, so can you give me the answer if you don't mind? Why can he not cease to exist if he can do everything?
Well, what would be the point of it? Because he came down to create...
Exactly, it's against his majesty, right? It does not befit his majesty. It wouldn't make any logical sense for God to die because God is the creator, he is eternal. Yes? Exactly. So now let's put this argument to Jesus as well. If Jesus, for example, is a baby, he needed his mother to eat food. He needed to be protected. How can that be the same person that is all-powerful? Because just like you said, just like you said, why can't he? For example, God cannot cease to exist. Why can't he? The same principle that I'm using against with you, bro. Be consistent.
Where's the inconsistency?
Could Jesus protect himself when the king came around to actually try and kill the babies? He couldn't protect himself.
Yeah, so the point is, bro, the reason why it doesn't make logical sense, because like I said to you, the foundation element for every person to understand religion is the concept of God. For example, the Islamic concept of God, we believe in one God. We believe in Tawheed. We affirm his attributes. We believe God is most powerful all times. God is all-knowing all times. That's why when an individual came up to Jesus and someone was asked, when is the hour? What did he respond with? No one knows. No one's in the heaven and earth knows except the Father. It shows, for example, if I submit my will to someone else, for example...
Yeah, but that's because he put himself in the same position we are. That's
okay, so let's analyze this now, yeah. For example, a child and a father, yeah? The child is submitting his will to the father because he's under the authority of the father. Same thing when it comes to Jesus. We never see Jesus telling the Father to worship him. Do we see that? No, we do not see that. We always see God the Father commanding Jesus to worship him, to prostrate to him. And the crazy thing is, the exact way that Jesus worshipped the Father is the exact way that Muslims worship Allah. The way we worship Allah is how? We prostrate on the floor. And what was Jesus doing in the Bible? Prostrating to the floor, to the God.
Christians prostrate to the floor, they can do it.
Okay, that's what the point is, that because Jesus is prostrating to the floor and he's prostrating to the Almighty, yeah, so it shows that Jesus is inferior to God because he's submitting his will to the God. Does that make sense?
No, the assumptions I think don't really
look, why does it not make sense? If Jesus is submitting his will to the... Go on, sorry, I'll let you speak. Sorry?
And remember earlier when I told you, Jesus himself never wanted to die. That's why he went to the garden to pray.
Yeah.
He did not want to.
Yeah, but we need to go...
He was willing to accept.
No, but the foundations though, like everyone has universal knowledge. The things that you're saying, it goes against your natural inclination. Because remember the brother said, it doesn't make sense for God to cease to exist. Why does it not make sense? Because it's against his majesty. Similarly, when God becomes a human being, that goes against his majesty. Because for example, do you believe that God is bigger than his creation? Of course, yeah. Of course he's bigger than creation. He's almighty, he's all-powerful, he's the most high. So how can something that is bigger than his creation go into a creation that is smaller than him?
You have to read Philippians 2, that'll give you the answer.
What's the answer?
It's in Philippians
What's
2.
the answer? What's the answer?
Read Philippians 2.
No, read the verse. You came and give the verse.
It says he humbled himself.
Okay.
And became obedient. He humbled himself.
Yep.
Didn't like himself to man. He became obedient unto death, even death
So-
on the cross. Hold on.
Okay.
Then it says, then he was glorified. Yeah.
Yep.
Lifted up. And every knee shall bow and every tongue shall.
Okay, that's fine. So now we need to understand when we say one second, brother. I'll let you speak. One second. I'll let you speak, brother. Come on, one at a time. So when we one second. That's fine. Brother, let me speak. I'll let you speak. Okay, I'll let you finish. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah. And when you were saying about when Jesus is relying on his mother, the question I'm asking is who supplied the food for the mother?
Okay, then let's analyze this now. No, brother, I'll let you speak now.
Who supplied the food for the mother?
Not Jesus.
Okay.
Now, hold on. careful.
Well,
now.
Jesus didn't supply his
I'm
food to
going
his
somewhere
mother.
with it. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with it because God is all-knowing, so He knew He was going to be in the baby's womb. So then He prepared everything before He came that He was supplied.
Okay, I'll let you speak now, brother. Yeah. So look, now we need to understand the concept of God limiting Himself. Yeah. Let's see if this logically. One second, brother. Yeah. Let's see if this logically makes sense. Yeah. So, for example, when Jesus was a baby, He was eating food, right? He was eating food. Yes, agreed. Was Jesus eating food? Yes. Okay, that's fine. Do we agree that God by nature is self-sufficient?
By nature.
Yes, exactly. So when Jesus was eating food, does that still make Him the same God that is self-sufficient?
Okay.
No, answer the question, please.
I'm checking first if you understand what you're talking about.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you understand the spirit, soul, and body?
Brother, you're not answering the question, man. A lot of Christians do this.
asking, do you
With all due respect, you're not answering the question. Okay, I'm going to continue the conversation with you, bro. That's fine. Let's continue the conversation.
Every time you get a question you don't like.
No, you.
Brother, I asked you a simple.
I'm just seeking.
Listen, come
I'm not
in.
running. I'm going to answer your
Okay,
question.
answer my question. When I said
I'm not
is
running, trust
okay.
me.
Do you want me
I'm answering
to
your
say my question again?
I'm checking to see
Yep.
what level of understanding you're at by
Bro,
asking you a question.
okay, one second. Look, let me speak now, brother. Let me speak now, brother.
You're
Look.
saying food. What does food feed? Does the natural food feed your body, your soul, or your spirit?
Bro, answer the question yourself. It's a ridiculous question. He's asking me how, like, when you eat food, is it your food? Is it physical spirit? Listen, we don't need philosophy here. Look, one second. Let me speak. One second. Bro, you have to let me speak as well. One second. I'm going to repeat my question one more time, yeah? I'm going to repeat it to you. Please let me speak. You're interrupting now. Brothers, don't let me speak. He's not letting me speak, brothers.
My objective is to see where your
Okay, let me speak.
understanding is.
Let me speak then.
So you should
Okay,
be
let me speak.
comfortable for me to see where your
That's fine. I'm ready to do that. I'm ready. Let me speak, brother.
He was speaking to this.
Bro, he's not even letting me speak.
The question I'm asking
You're not being fair. Everyone is seeing that you're not being fair. Let me respond.
Don't bring everybody in if you can't stand.
If you're gonna let me speak, are you gonna let me respond?
Natural,
Wallahi, this is crazy, man. Speak what's going on. You don't let people speak.
natural, spiritual, soul. Now, when you're saying the natural food, which part of the body are you talking?
Okay, you finished now, yeah?
Which part of the being are you talking?
Okay, you finished now, yeah? You finished now. Okay, cool. The question, one second. The question that I was asking the brothers, yeah? Sorry, not the. I was saying that God by nature is self-sufficient, right? So when we say self-sufficient, how do we define that? That means God is not in need of anything. It makes sense, right, guys, yeah? So when Jesus was a baby, right? Okay, when he was a little baby, what did he not require his mother for food and sustenance? Yes? Okay, absolutely. And one second. And automatically, one second. You agree with me, that's fine, yeah? So now can Jesus... One second. Now, one second, please. Now, at that point, when Jesus was a baby, because of course, according to Christians, they believe in two natures, all right? And we can already affirm that the Father is not Jesus and Jesus is not Father. So we're talking about as Jesus, as God being a baby. He was not self-sufficient because he needed to eat food. And God by nature, one second. And God by nature was self-sufficient. So what does that come up to? A paradox. Someone cannot be self-sufficient and not self-sufficient at the same time. For example, someone cannot exist. One second. I'm gonna finish off. One second. Just like brother. One second. I'm just gonna finish off, yeah? Brother, I'm gonna finish off. One second. Yeah, I know, brother. I don't know why it's easy to comprehend, isn't it, brothers?
Even a 10-year-old will agree with him.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's be respectful, bro. His uncle. Okay, brother, look, the thing is, just like it wouldn't make sense for God to exist and not exist at the same time. It wouldn't make logical sense. Same thing, for example, of God being self-sufficient, but not being self-sufficient at that.
But you're putting your own
Okay, go on.
parameters.
I'll let you
What
speak.
God can do.
I'll let you speak, brother. God,
Which is fine. That's his perspective.
Yeah, but you're putting your own
can God cease to? He's not being consistent. Let's test that.
Everybody's entitled to their perspective.
Okay, let's test that.
That's how you see it.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, I know that's true. Okay, look, 1 second. Let's test the.
I'm trying to understand you, right? I'm trying to, like,
That's fine.
understand where you're coming
No problem.
I'm trying to see where his understanding is.
What you doesn't make to me, what you're saying doesn't make sense because you're laying on your own set of parameters what God can do and what He can't do.
Okay, that's fine, brother. The reason, with all due respect, yeah, you're being inconsistent.
Why?
Let me tell you why. The same principle. 1 second. Look, 1 second. With all due respect, I said you're being inconsistent. The reason why is the same natural inclination, the same reason. Allah says in the Quran, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, will you not reason? The same principle that you use, that it wouldn't make sense for God to cease to exist, is this, 1 second, is the same parameters that we are. 1 second.
I'm saying,
Answer the question. Can God cease to exist?
Is that what you're saying?
Answer the question. Let him answer the question. He put me on the spot. Can God cease himself to exist? Can God cease himself to exist? Okay, can you answer the question? If you're not going to answer the question, obviously I'm going to speak to him. Can God cease? No, because you spoke for a long. Yeah, let's check your level of understanding. Let's check of your level of understanding. Yes, agreed. Can God? No. You're diverting. You're diverting. You're diverting. You're diverting.
I'll answer your question.
What was my question? What was my question? What was my question?
Listen,
What was my question?
I'll answer.
Brother, he's not answering the question. Is it worth me speaking to him?
No,
He's not speaking to him. With all due respect, brother, I'm going to speak to you. He's not answering my question. Okay, cool. You know the parameters that you're saying about God, yeah? In regards to our understanding of God?
Yeah, but you're taking, I'm sure there's somewhere that your psychology coming to it is through a glass which is Muhammad's glass and how he's taught you to understand.
Of course, like even me.
That's why you come to conclusions. I can
No.
never come to conclusions.
Firstly, in Islam, we have something called Fitrah. Fitrah is basically means your natural inclination. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that every single individual is born with Fitrah. It's their parents that either make them a Christian, Jew, or fire worshipper. So this basically means that me and you both right now have natural inclination. We all have universal knowledge. Just like you would know that hitting a baby is naturally wrong, right?
Yeah.
Of course. Why? Because of your Fitrah. Just like.
Your God can send them to hell though.
What do you mean?
If he decides, somewhere in the Quran, he can send them to
Your
hell.
God.
Okay, one second. Brother, one second. You made a big claim. One second. Brother, you made a big claim. One second. You made a one second. You made a big claim. One second. One second, brother. Listen, we have to speak from knowledge, bro. Did you just say that in the Quran it says babies can go hell?
If he doesn't, I've looked at it somewhere. I've seen it somewhere that I mean you can say it's not true, but that he decides who is and who is going to heaven.
Allah decides, yes. Allah is the ultimate judge. We believe Allah is the judge, okay? So He decides who's going to go Jannah and Jahannam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set criteria for His people to follow Him. For example, we believe Jesus, Moses, Noah, they all had revelation that they conveyed to the people. And the people at the time of Jesus, they would be the Muslims. Why? Because Muslim means submitting your will to God. Okay, you've heard all that before. But the thing is, what we need to understand, like I said to you, is the foundations. The foundation is the concept of God. And you're telling me, okay.
Just hold. You admitted earlier. When you worship a white baby, blonde hair and blue eyes. The Hindu girl goes to hell.
One at a time. Let's test this. One second.
A Christian man who rapes a Hindu girl.
Brother, one at a time. Let's ask him the question, brother. Let's ask him.
Theoretically,
Okay, one second.
if a person knows Jesus for their heart and everything else and is repented and acknowledge Jesus as their Lord and Saviour, I'm afraid there's nothing can happen to him as far as that. He's been accepted.
Okay, one second, brother.
Now you're putting the parameters that now he kills someone who's a non-believer.
Brother, he's diverting. With all due respect, brother, he's going to divert. Let's go to the foundation, brother, yeah? Look, so 1 second. Let's test, brother. Let's test your parameters. Okay, that's fine.
That's what he said.
Brother, yeah, I'll ask him, Habib, I'll ask him. One second, brother, I'm going to ask you the question. Do you worship a baby?
Why worship a baby?
Because Jesus was a baby, so do you worship a baby?
No, I worship Jesus.
Okay, one second. Wasn't Jesus a baby as well?
Yes.
So weren't you worshipping Jesus as a baby?
I wasn't around him, so I don't understand.
He was a baby. Brother, come on, listen.
He was a baby,
yes. Look, we agree that Jesus was a baby. So whilst Jesus was a baby, was he still God?
Yes.
Okay, so when you worship God, you're worshipping a baby, yes?
I suppose when people came to see Jesus X many years after he was born in the thing, they came before him, didn't they? They offered him.
So they were worshipping a baby then, yeah?
When Jesus was born.
No, they're worshipping Jesus.
But you agree that Jesus as a baby was God as well?
Yeah.
So wasn't the people that worshipping Jesus worshipping a baby?
At that time, when he was a baby.
Brother, listen, look, 1 second.
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
It's all due respect, you're not answering the question. You're saying one thing, you're saying the other thing. I asked you, look, me and you both agree. No, I don't agree, astaghfirullah. You agree that Jesus as a baby was God. You agree with this? But when I asked you the question, do you worship a baby? You said no. Jesus was a baby, so therefore you was worshipping a baby, yes? Brother, the reason why I'm saying this, let me tell you why I'm saying this. Brother, listen.
If he was God, you should
listen, the reason why I'm saying this. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay,
this is
my friend.
One
second. No, remember I said to you, brother, it's really simple. It's really simple. For example, Hindus they worship 300 gods. Other individuals worship a man as a god. But we know God as His nature is most powerful, most knowing, and He's bigger than His creation. It wouldn't make any logical sense because Allah says to use our reason. So when we're using our reason, it wouldn't make any logical sense for a person, an entity that's bigger than us is inside us at the same time. Because Allah is the most high. He's the most knowledgeable and He's the greatest. So that's why the only thing I'm saying, I'm not trying to confuse you, honestly. I want you to understand, I want you to comprehend, and I want you to speak from your natural inclination. You know it does not make sense for a God to become a baby. Because in order for God... Okay, So look,
Don't tell me.
So do you worship the baby then? If it's not true,
I don't-
did you worship the baby?
What do you mean? When we worship Jesus,
Jesus, when he was born, did you worship him?
I see Jesus.
But
He
the
grew
people
up.
worshiping him.
We worship Jesus.
Yeah. So when he was a baby, when Jesus was a baby, at that time when Christianity, were they worshiping him at that time? When he was a baby, because you said he's God. So that means even if he was a baby, he was God. So were they worshiping him?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not trying to get around this, all right? But I haven't got a foggiest idea what
You know why? Christianity is not a logical religion. With all due respect, listen. That's why most Christians are not able to explain the Trinity. It doesn't make any logical sense at all. That's why. Let me tell you about Islam. What do you know about Islam? What do you know about Islam? What do you know about Islam?
I know, well, what do I know? I'm not as eloquent as you.
I'm not eloquent.
No,
I'm just a normal person. I'm nobody.
No, you're nobody, but you string your words a lot better together than I can.
It's not about that, to be fair.
No, it is. It's about collecting information
I agree with you.
and putting it together.
So let's reason.
And to come out with it. I'm not that type of person.
No, but
I know.
You don't need to be.
I know.
You could be a kid as well.
I know. If you've got the Bible
Yes.
and you've got the Quran,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I know they don't match up for a start. The other thing I know is, I mean, like, no, I don't know what it was. We're talking about. No,
It's fine, get to your point, brother,
Talking about. No, I see. I don't want to get too crude.
Bro, can I just say something if you don't mind? Yeah, listen, I'm what I'm trying to say to you. I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm not trying to use eloquency. The things that I'm saying, because Allah tells us in the Quran as well, yeah, when it comes to the revelation that Jesus and Mary used to eat. The reason why God did this is in order for us to reflect. That Allah tells us to reflect upon His signs. And indeed, these are for the signs of the signs. For example, it wouldn't make any sense for a person that is God to eat food. The reason why it wouldn't make sense because God, I said this to you many times. I'm not sure if I'm getting anywhere. I'm repeating myself a lot, to be honest. So I'm going to end off the conversation. I'm going to tell you what Islam says about our religion. Yeah, let me tell you what Islam says. So Islam, we believe in all the prophets. Yeah, we believe in Moses, we believe in Noah, we believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all these individuals, they came with a message to convey Allah's revelation. So I'll give you some explanation. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came with a message to worship God. He came with the exact same message of Jesus, despite them being 600 years apart. And he came with the worship of one God, just like Jesus has said in the Bible. Bro, I'm giving you the Islamic.
Can you just explain some things, right? How old was his wife when he got married?
Bro, listen,
No,
I can answer the question, no problem.
Yeah, go on.
We're going to speak about Aisha then, yeah?
Just tell me
So
how.
the Prophet ﷺ married Aisha at the age of 6 and he consummated the marriage at 9, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So I'm not going to go too far that way.
okay, it's really
Then
simple to be fair.
What about the war he went into and he got married to one of the wives,
Wise, Safiya,
Sophia,
yes,
same day
Yes.
that he won the battle.
yes.
So
Look,
would you call that rape or not?
One second. Okay, well, you mentioned 2 points firstly, yeah? Firstly, one second, brothers. 1 second. Firstly, brother, it shows that you're not able to answer from your natural inclination that Jesus, it doesn't make logical sense for him to be
No,
God.
I can't
So
answer.
that's fine. That's fine. You
I'm
can't
just asking for
answer.
those
That's
answers.
fine. So I can explain to you about Aisha radiallahu anhu. So we can see even Christian scholars in the 17th century. Do you know what the age limit of marriage was in the UK in the 17th, 18th century?
What's that got to do with it?
Just answer the question if you don't mind. I'll relate it.
Wise, it doesn't have any.
Basically, the age just 200 years ago, the age was 7 for the consummation of marriage, yeah? Okay, the marriage in the UK alone. So Islam, just to give, let me give you that. That's fine, no problem. 1 second.
You know the gypsies, right now,
Yeah.
what age did
Yeah,
those get
but
married?
I understand.
Gypsies.
1 second. We're not going to. Let's begin the faith. 1 second. Okay, I'll explain to you. Look, the principle is that Aisha radiallahu anhu was an adult. She was not a child when they consummated marriage, and the proof of that is, for example, some individuals, they claim the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, God forbid, astaghfirullah, they call him a paedophile. In order for someone to be molested by a paedophile, that individual must have mental defects. That person must have mental illness. Aisha radiallahu anha became the biggest scholar of Islam, biggest female scholar of Islam. Number 2, we can see there was an experiment done for fishes, yeah? So there's an experiment done on fishes, and once they were in the hot climate and then in the cold climate. When fishes were exposed to hot conditions, they matured much more physically quicker as well. Okay, that's number 2. And another thing is, yeah.
But the diet then it wasn't that good.
One second, and
So
we
it
can see.
wouldn't have matured that
No,
quick.
no, listen. You're not getting the point.
They would have been able to take longer to
Brother,
mature.
listen, you're not getting the point. Sorry, brother, yeah? And of course, we can see at that time the life expectancy of an individual was much less. What was the life expectancy? All these people were going to wars, people were dying quick. So, of course, in order to multiply, naturally, you would have to marry at the early age. But the point is, though, none of the enemies of Muhammad ﷺ mentioned that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a paedophile. A'udhu billah. No one said that. They called him a liar, they called him a magician, and none of them called him a paedophile. But, bro, the point is, one second, I'm going to finish off. I'm going to conclude the conversation. The point is, I'm going to leave him something, yeah? I'm going to leave you with something, brother, yeah?
What about the most
Brother, I can answer all your questions. I can answer by Sophia. One second, brother, don't answer. The reason being is that, bro, we're going to so many different topics here. We've already established you're not able, like you said it yourself, you're not able to logically explain the Trinity because you know it doesn't make sense according to natural inclination. So what you're doing is like just like normal Christians, they're saying that in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu why should Aisha at this age? Look, but the thing is, it's not worth it. But bro, may Allah give you hidayah. But I'm gonna finish up. You can speak afterwards. No, but I'm gonna finish up. I'm gonna finish up. Promise. But brother, all I'm gonna say to you is, may Allah give you hidayah. And you know what we say is that, you know, if someone becomes a Muslim, all of the sins are forgiven, except, for example, debt. Okay? One second. And thing is, you know the concept of God is the most important element of every religion. And you know you can't explain or even comprehend the Trinity because against God's nature,
You know
it
what?
doesn't...
It doesn't.
Bro, let's conclude
it
now.
doesn't
Let's conclude.
depend-
It's
it
not going
doesn't
anywhere.
depend- What things don't depend on how clever you talk or how you do. Because I mean, you could have a non-clever Muslim.
Look, my duty, I'm finishing. Wallah, bro, I'm finishing off. Look, my duty as a Muslim is to convey the message. Allah gives the hidayah. Allah gives the guidance. So take care of yourself. It was nice talking to you. And hopefully you think about this, yeah? Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm from Pakistan. Where are you from, brother? I'm from Pakistan originally. Oh, I'm from East London, Barking. Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm originally from Pakistan as well.
Okay, nice. Cool. I'm just going to take the mic off because they can hear everything.
What is the mic, brother?
You put all the mics here, and here.
Oh, okay. Jazak Allah Khair.
Did I mix it up?
Normally put it like this. Look.
Sorry, but I'm not
No problem.